Good morning, lovely friends. How are you all today? I hope you're somewhere snug and cosy. It's officially cold. I just noticed I'm so beautifully framed by my onions and my little ginger friend down here. Yeah, it's officially cold. It's about 10 in the morning, so it's not early, and it's about, you can see my breath, it's about 2 degrees out there. But this morning I was out by about 7 o'clock, and it was about, I think it was -1. So I'm officially allowed to say, if it's near zero, it's cold. I've got so many layers on. I feel like the Michelin woman. I've gone up 17 dress sizes by having all these layers on. But it's practical. I like to wear loads and loads of layers so that as I'm working, if I do start to warm up, I can take a layer off or 2 layers off. But then when I stop work, quickly put them all back on again. Got 2 pairs of trousers on today too. Really is chilly. So, I'm still playing a bit of catch up in the garden, believe it or not. You're right, Rusty. I'm still playing catch up. Today, I think the theme of today is going to be what goes up must come down. I don't know how far I'm going to get, but all the jobs I'm going to do so, or at least that I've got planned today, they're all quite physical. They're all going to entail me doing a lot of moving. So hopefully that will keep me warm enough to keep going for a few hours. But just before I get into the garden, I'm going to take my gloves off for a second. Just before I do go into the garden, I wanted to say a massive thank you to Kate. Her channel is called The Last Homely House East of the Sea. I think that's a quote from, it's a quote from Tolkien. Is it Lord of the Rings? It might be. If any of you watched my Christmas video last year, I can't believe it's nearly Christmas again this year. You'll remember she sent me this beautiful, I'm going to hold it rather than swing it. It's gorgeous. Let me get all that out of the way so you can see it properly. It's a beautiful little tree decoration. Off goes Rusty. You see it's ceramic. Oh, you can actually, the light's picking up at the textures on there. Beautiful, in the most delicate, I don't know what type of, I mean, it's not clay, it's some sort of, it's almost like porcelain. Beautiful. So she sent that to me last year. Thank you so much, Kate. And I asked her about making I can't say too much because it's for a friend of mine, but I asked her about making a very specific design for this year, which she's done and sent me. Thank you so much, Kate. But she's made quite a lot, and she's got them in her online shop, so I'll do a little link thing below. But yeah, absolutely beautiful. If you haven't popped over to Kate's channel, do have a look. Now I know that probably most of you come onto my channel to look at the gardening stuff. You know, I've always said I'm not a gardening channel. My channel is all about me living without my wage, so it's a lot about food and frugal living and making do and mending, etc, etc. And one of my interests, of course, is sewing. So with Kate's channel, there has been a bit of gardening, a bit less recently, because actually the focus of her channel these days is on her quilt making. Oh, they're achingly beautiful. I could literally, there are some videos, and as you all know, I've said it before a number of times, I don't get a lot of time to watch other people's videos, unfortunately, but occasionally, sort of late in the evening when I'm trying to wind down, if I've been working and hurrying around like mad all day, and I'm, like I said, I'm trying to wind down and relax a bit, I'll watch one of Kate's quilt making videos because they're so, there's something so meditative and quiet, and she just chats as she does it, and they're lovely. So pop on over and have a look at Kate's channel, and go and have a look at her gorgeous shop and find yourself some beautiful handmade decorations for your tree, which will become beautiful little heirlooms Now the other thank you, I don't know who I'm thanking. This has arrived this morning in the post, but there was no note with it. Can you see that? In Indian Creek Chronicles. What's the subtitle? A Winter Alone in the Wilderness. This looks just my kind of book. So on one of the reviews it says, honest, lyrical, and full of a kind of ineffable wonder. Anyone who has ever loved a place truly will surely love this book. I can't wait. So it says it's an account of 7 winter months spent alone in a tent in Idaho, guarding salmon eggs and coming face to face with the blunt realities of life as a contemporary mountain man. A gripping story of adventure and a modern day Walden. Whoever you are that sent this to me, oh my goodness, thank you. That is right up my street. Oh, and it's funny, the other day after the oh, it's got pictures too. I do like a picture. Shall I show you? But they're not going to be very clear on camera. Oh, look at that. Yeah, the other day when I was having my Sunday on the sofa with you all and talking a bit about books, after I turned the camera off, I actually went and looked at my bookshelves and I was thinking, oh, what's on there that hasn't been read yet? Lots of books on there that have been gifted to me, or, you know, if I see a book in one of those 10p sales or whatever, I'll grab it. I've got so many books on my shelves to read, and I was saying that I rarely get time to read these days. And the more I was looking at my books, the more I thought, why am I not making time to do this thing that I love to do? Because I do. So I'm going to try to. That might be my sort of New Year's resolution before the new year. Do more reading, set more time aside for reading. Anyway, I'm getting cold sitting here talking, so I think without further ado, let's get into the garden and start doing a job which really I could probably have done in September. Oh, it's definitely a chilly day. But for the most part it's quite quiet. Apart from the usual aeroplanes and occasional sirens. But what's been lovely coming down this morning is so much bird activity. Absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I've seen the usual magpies, a load of jays which are related. They're part of the corvid family, I think. So rooks, crows, magpies, jays, loads of tits, and I've seen a few goldfinches this morning, which is great. And in my last video I was mentioning about the hyssop seed heads in the herb bed. So I did have a quick look up, and apparently the goldfinches love the hyssop seed heads as much as they love the verbena seed heads. So they're going to stay for now to keep the little finches happy. Yay! Right. I'm going to go down one side first. I'm going to be methodical. Let's crack on. now that bed. If only all jobs in the garden were that fast. Oh my goodness, it looks so bare suddenly. Oh, excuse me being snotty. Well, I'm glad that's done. It's been on my mind for ages. I really want to get all these sticks stashed. I need to go and stash them all now. Find places for them to stash. But yeah, another satisfying job done. And it's warmed me up. Brilliant. Right, Rusty's been hanging around all morning, so I think I need to go and give him a cuddle. I'm going to have a glass of water, and then I can start stashing all my sticks and think about the next job. It seems crazy. We're fast approaching winter. Go on, Bennett, that's heavy. Oh, and I'm still doing my autumn jobs. So, twiggy bits out of the way. I'm just going to get the last of my partly composted compost onto what was the ex-fennel bed. I've got something sprouting there. What is that? I don't know, it's some sort of onion or leek, never mind. Yes, I keep sort of combination of running out of time, but also not really wanting to rush things. But I'm definitely now that all my structures are down, I'm definitely ready to get these beds tucked up for winter, the empty ones. I'm really excited to see what happens with them next year, because last winter when I did this, it was a bit of an experiment. A lot of the beds had mostly just a bit of leaf litter, and I hadn't chopped it down, so it was whole leaves, and they were pretty dry, so it wasn't ideal. But even where they were, the beds were better than I would normally expect in the spring, and I think that was quite a large, I can't get my words out today. I think largely the reason for that is that the cardboard protected the beds from the pounding from the rain. There were a couple of beds where right at the end of the season I chopped and dropped, and so I just had sort of plant detritus sitting on top of the beds, but I didn't have any cardboard to cover them. Those beds were less good than the ones that I'd covered with cardboard, and also with that plant detritus at the end of the season, I hadn't really chopped it down, it was literally plants that come out of the ground and then I just dumped them on the top of the beds. So this year I'm being a bit more conscientious about, well, all year with making compost, about chopping it down, but also this autumn with all the beds I've been trying to get as much sort of plant material on them chopped up. Some of it semi-composted, some of it not at all composted, but I've been trying to get more plant material on than just relying on the leaves, because it does take a while for the leaves to break down and for their lovely nutrition to be released. So I'm hoping that more plant matter means not just will I get a nice semi-friable soil next year, but that it will have had a lot of goodness added back. Right, I think that's the absolute last dregs of this compost bin. If you remember, at the end of the summer, I came to empty the bin and it was bone dry, apart from right in the very middle at the bottom. I'd not experienced that before, even the year before when we had the drought, but it was good lesson learned that it's a sort of lesson in don't just chuck stuff in the bin and sort of not give it any help to turn your back on and expect miraculous, beautiful potting compost after a couple of months. It's not going to happen. So after I experienced that, I have been very precious. Bramble. Not precious, but I've been very disciplined. That's a better word. I've been very disciplined about keeping the pile moist. I thought I'd done that over the summer by adding my urine, but it obviously hadn't been enough, because actually in the summer mostly I use my urine to fertilise. So yeah, it was a good lesson learned. From that point I have been keeping it moist, getting my fork in, giving it a bit of a squish every now and again. And what I've got now after, when was that? So September, October. This is only about 2 and a bit months old. What I've got now is so much better. Right, let's get that fennel bed sorted. Thinking out loud. I don't need to think out loud with you, I'll think as I tip. The sun is trying to come out. Hurrah! How are we going to do this? Oh. Right then, so this is the second of my ex-tomato beds, and I'm completely out of my lovely, how to put it, juicy compost. So all that good compost that was in my bin I've used on one of the tomato beds, the ex-flint corn and the ex-fennel beds. All 3 of those beds will have squash in next year, so I want to give them a good start. This ex-tomato bed is also going to be squashed next year, but like I say, I'm totally out of compost, so I could just do the leaves. But I remembered, I don't know how I'd forgotten this, back at the beginning of the year, not at the beginning of the year, that May time, when I was starting to uncover the beds, to see how they'd done with their cardboard covers. Yay! A lot of the cardboard it sort of disintegrated quite a lot, but it had gotten quite dry by then. Like I say, it was about May and we hadn't had much rain. Plus, like I was just saying over at the compost bin, the other bin, I had those 2 beds where I'd dumped a load of, and this is it, my climbing bean detritus from last year. Now, I've left that bin completely alone since May. Some of it has composted. Yay! But you can probably hear from that. Oh, sorry, cats. Oh, I thought I'd scared Poppy. It's not. It's because Rusty's approached her. Yeah, sorry, excuse me. Dust from this has come up. It was quite dry. I put it in that bin, and the intention was to keep mixing it in with my green stuff as the summer went on, which I did, but I still had about half a bin of it. And I thought, look, you know, this is plant matter and some cardboard. It's got to be better than just leaves. So the only problem is it's really dry. So I thought what I'd do is just get it on this bed today, spread it out a bit, and then I think we're due some more rain in a couple of days. So I'm not going to cover it just yet. I want it to get a good soaking from the rain, and then I'll cover it. I don't know how good it's going to be in terms of feeding the bed, but like I say, because there is quite a lot of plant material in there, I would have thought that it's got to be better than just the leaves. Let me give you a close-up, because I'm also thinking ahead to next spring already. So you can see hopefully how it's a mix of sort of plant material, a bit of cardboard, a bit of leaves, what have you. And I'm thinking that actually in the middle of the cathedral bed next year, I'll do similar to this year, in that I will direct sow a lot of my salad leaves, chard, what have you, and that will be in this kind of area. So whatever doesn't compost down, I'm thinking I can just pull aside and leave it under what will be next year's cathedral teepees, where the squash will go, and then I'll have an instant mulch, as well as hopefully continuing to feed the soil. So yeah, all it needs now though is a jolly good wetting. I can't believe I'm asking for it to be wet. What I could do, I suppose, just pop those nasturtiums in. I could get a couple of buckets full out of my water butt, just to give my water butt a bit of space if we're going to be freezing. Yes, I think that's what I'll do. Ooh, sun's gone in. It's suddenly getting really chilly again. I've done tons more today. I had all that detritus from the flint corn I shooked at home. I knew that word, I just couldn't find it. So that's gone on to the bed where the cocoa de pampole were, where I was putting in the slates the other day as my anti-raspberry measure. I think I should have probably gone deeper with them. Never mind. Yes, so lots of good stuff done today. I've still got bean poles and sticks and stuff all over the place, so I need to get everything gathered up and find places to stash them. Do that in a minute. And then I think it's so weird, the garden suddenly looks completely different. I think I'm just going to take 5 minutes to stand and just look at the whole thing and think, right, what needs doing? What's the priority for my next visit? To be honest though, I think I'm at the stage now. God, it did get cold. I took my fleece off. I need to go and find it. I think my fleece is in the cold frame. Yeah, I think I'm at the stage now where it's all going to be about leaf raking, leaf strimming, leaf spreading, and bringing more cardboard to the plot. And then at some point I need to sort out the mess that is the cold frame, both the break, and I've just been dumping junk in there at the moment. I need to have a bit of a shed sort out. I need to sort out behind the shed. It's definitely that time of year when, as I'm doing jobs, I'm almost creating more mess, basically. Literally everywhere I look, there are piles of things which have been dumped. But yeah, I think for the rest of the month, I want to have a good now push on, so I can kind of take it a bit easy come December. And yeah, once we get into December, it should all be about just coming here to harvest and to see friends. I've seen quite a few people this afternoon. That's really lovely. Speaking of friends, I just literally out of the corner of my eye saw a couple of friends coming down my path, which is why I stopped for a moment so I could have a natter with them. I love days like today when folk come out, have a chance to catch up and chat with people, get some good work done, keep moving, stay nice and warm. It's so satisfying. Ah, I love it. I nearly didn't come today because I was feeling a bit down in the dumps this morning, if I'm honest. And I sort of forced myself actually to come. Oh boy, I'm so glad I did, because literally every time it's pretty much the same. Within minutes of arriving, I'm so happy to be here and be getting on with things. Good stuff. Good jobs done today. I'm going to go and have my tidy up. I'm going to have a couple of minutes to just stand there. I'm going to go find my fleece and put that back on. Stand, just have a little look for a minute. Check where I'm at. It's constant interruptions today. That was another friend. Yes, I'm going to go and stand and have a look at the garden, probably whilst I'm nattering to someone else, and see what my next little list of jobs are to do. Must remember to do some harvesting before I go home today, because I need to do a lot of cooking because the fridge is completely empty. So I will get on with that and say cheerio to all of you for now. I will see you again really soon, I hope. But in the meantime, please look after yourselves, stay cosy, stay snug, put all those layers on, get outside if you can, enjoy the light while we have it. Just embrace the gloriousness of nearly winter. See you all really soon. Bye for now.